Hi, welcome to Brink's latest news. My name is Hans Brinks, and in this video we bring the latest news on the Russian cyber attacks. Please subscribe to our channel if you want to receive all the latest news and the latest sports updates. And here's on the latest news about the Russian cyber attacks. Well, Britain and the Netherlands have claimed they have foiled cyber attacks by Russia recently on the OPCW in The Hague in the Netherlands. And more about the cyber attacks in The Hague shortly. The European Union have already expressed its concern along with all the NATO chiefs. Around the world there were 3 news conferences in 3 countries the past few days, all accusing Russian cyber spies. Among those hacked 2 Canadian-based organizations, the World Anti-Doping Agency in Montreal and the Canadian Centre for Ethics in Sports in Ottawa. In Europe, the agency investigating the 2014 downing of Malaysian jet airliner MH17, and in the United States not just the hack but the cyber attack during the 2016 election. Russia denies it all, but the evidence seems overwhelming, especially relating to the hack into the investigation of Sergei Skripal's poisoning in Salisbury, England. The OPCW in The Hague, the name is on the full display as you can see right here, but the analysis work inside is top secret. This is the headquarters of the chemicals watchdog, where the cameras caught Russian military spies doing reconnaissance. Doing research. Why the OPCW? It was investigating the poisoning of a former Russian spy, trying to determine if the chemical used was of Russian origin. The 4 men have traveled on diplomatic passports, flying to Amsterdam the day before, picked up at the airport by a Russian embassy official seen here on the right.
The unit involved has sent officers around the world to conduct brazen, close-access cyber operations.
And the man parked this rented car just outside the OPCW building. The trunk was filled with Wi-Fi hacking gear, and it seems their MO was to wait for users to log in and steal the password or spread malware. But the Dutch intelligence was onto them.
As soon as we had the idea that the equipment was getting working, we disrupted the operation.
The officers were arrested right there in the parking lot, and the treasure trove of evidence kept growing and growing. Like a taxi receipt as seen right here on the screen from a trip from the GRU headquarters in Moscow to the airport, cell phones that had been deactivated near the Russian spy agency, and a photo found on the laptop of one of the spies taken at the Rio Olympics, where the GRU is known to have been active. The only thing that's unclear, why those Russian spies left a blatant trail of evidence there in The Hague. Could it have been a series of missteps, or was it Russia deliberately leaving a calling card, perhaps putting the world on notice? Okay, now we'll share more breaking news about the Russian cyber attacks during the United States elections in 2016. The British government has directly accused Russian military intelligence of being behind a spate of reckless and indiscriminate cyber attacks. The attacks were carried out on the order of Vladimir Putin's Kremlin, including the hacking in 2016 of the US Democratic National Committee headquarters. The claim is a precursor to the announcement of further UK intelligence revelation of Russian state's involvement in the poisoning in Salisbury of Sergei Skripal, the Russian double agent. In an unprecedented statement, the Foreign Secretary, Jeremy Hunt, said the National Cybersecurity Center had found that a number of hackers widely known to have been conducting attacks around the world were covers for the Russian GRU intelligence service. He added that their attacks had been undertaken with the consent and the knowledge of the Kremlin. The British government claimed the attacks had been conducted in flagrant violation of international law, had affected citizens in a large number of countries, including Russia, and had cost national economies millions of pounds. The Foreign Office attributed 6 specific attacks to the GRU-backed hackers, and they identified 12 hacking group codenames as fronts for the GRU, and they are Fancy Bear, Voodoo Bear, APT-28, Sophacy, Pawnstorm, Setnit, Cyber Caliphate, Cyber Burq, Black Energy Actors, Strontium, Char Team and the Sandworm. The assertions by the British government fulfill a pledge made by Theresa May to reveal the full extent of GRU disruption in the wake of the poisoning of Skripal earlier this year. Skripal had himself been a member of the GRU since 1979, before deflecting to the British. The UK government has been unusually aggressive in identifying the two men suspected of travelling to Salisbury to poison Skripal and his daughter Julia as Russian intelligence agents. Official Russian explanations for the two men's visit to Salisbury have been widely ridiculed, prompting tensions inside the Russian government over the inept handling of the episode. In its statement, Britain for the first time identified 4 cyber attacks as Russian-sourced. They include an October 2017 attack through Bad Rabbit ransomware that rendered the IT inoperable, causing disruption to the Kiev metro, Odessa airport, and Russian central banks and 2 Russian media outlets. Further attacks attributed to Russia for the first time are the 2017 hacking of confidential medical files of the international athletes under the control of the World Anti-Doping Agency and attacks on a small, still functioning British-based TV station. And finally, the 2016 hacking of the Democratic National Committee. 2 other attacks previously attributed to Russia were also highlighted in the UK statement. The cyber attack on the DNC headquarters, critical to the outcome of the 2016 elections, has often been attributed to the Russians, but it's the first time the UK intelligence services have made the claim. In a statement, Hunt said, "These cyber attacks serve no legitimate national security interest, instead impacting the ability of the people around the world to go about their daily lives, free from interference, and even their ability to enjoy sport. The GRU actions are reckless. They try to undermine and interfere in elections in other countries. They are even prepared to damage their own Russian companies and Russian citizens." This pattern of behavior demonstrates the desire to operate without regard to international law or established norms, and to do so with a feeling of impunity and without consequences. Professor Malcolm Chalmers of the defense think tank RUSI said, "Most intelligence services try to gain advantage through stealing the secrets of their adversaries. But the GRU's activities go well beyond this traditional peacetime espionage role. By launching disruptive operations that threaten life in target societies, they blur the line between war and peace." The Foreign Office warning came as the US prepares to to mount cyber defense operations on behalf of the 29 NATO Defense Alliance, an issue on which the UK has been leading. NATO has said it would create a cyberspace operations center to coordinate NATO's cyber activities, including by integrating individual nations' cyber capabilities into alliance operations. In a speech on Monday night, the former UK National Security Advisor Sir Mark Lyle Grant warned that cyber attacks were now one of the great threats to the survival of liberal world order. He said that 50% of all UK companies had been attacked, and as a result were having to invest millions in cybersecurity. The new allegations are bound to be dismissed as propaganda by Russia, but Lyle Grant claimed that Putin would be taken aback by the depth of exposure of his intelligence service actions.